Hello everyone, I'm the Solar Gamer, and welcome back to the Civilization V Brave New World Brazil fan fiction contest winner announcement. Yes, okay, so I do apologize that this hasn't been out, well, a while back, but I'm finally gonna announce the winners and, let you know who won and got their prizes. Okay, so obviously if you didn't receive an email, that means that you did not win. Don't worry though, because if yours was chosen as a nomination or something I liked, it will be in a later video that will explain the timeline of Brazil with all of your fanfictions. So don't worry about that. It might be edited a little bit just to fix a couple of errors, but that's about it. Okay, either way, let's get on to the winners. So we have 4 winners, obviously enough, and we have a couple honorable mentions that I want to get to afterwards. First and foremost, let's start from the bottom. Okay, so we have our 4th place winner, who is Adam L. I'm not going to name the last names. I'm just going to do the first name and middle name if they have it. Just for privacy reasons. Okay, so here we go. Adam L. Okay, so now his is a little bit different. Now, while the whole thing was to do a fan fiction, this is kind of considered a fan fiction, I would say. It's basically the statistics for the World War I, which happened between 16th of August, 1828, and the 3rd of September, 1894. It was a 66-year war, and it had a lot of different countries joined in and city-states and stuff like that, and he went out there and grabbed all of this information, all the commanders, leaders, the nations, the unit count, the casualties. He put that all into these nice-looking graphs, and he did have a story, but I'm mostly crediting him on the statistics themselves. They were actually really, really cool. I liked reading them. It felt like it was part of history, even though it's a game, you know what I mean? So it's very, very interesting, and I definitely think that he deserves the slot. Okay, now in 3rd place we had Nathan, and Nathan basically did his fanfiction over the Emperor's Address on Communism. When we adopted the ideology of communism in our nation, we had this beautiful looking speech here, and our leader went up to the podium and spoke to his people. Now, the reason why I chose this was obviously because it was very, very cool. It was a speech. It was something that was different than, say, a unit on the front lines, although I really love those stories. I'm trying to pick things that are different. Okay, in 2nd place we have Evan, and Evan's fanfiction kind of, I like this because it really intermingled the languages a lot, and it was very, very well done, and I'll read a short little passage here. He leaned back and lit his 7th cigarette. The red glow illuminated his face and the dusty trench wall. Not for me. If I live, I don't want to die later. No, not until much later. It was cold now. The freezing cold of the desert night had settled over the valley and was slowly weaving its way into our minds. Our morale. Was it really worth it? They had one last defense, one last bastion of hope. Can you imagine your home, your life, ravaged by politics and greed, when the only light of hope that you can turn to is your condemner? Am I willing to kill the innocent? I was in full swing now. The anxiety. Simple, really. Just aim and fire. I had never killed anyone before. What was it like? Did your blood boil and crave for more? Did your hand shake as you slipped into darkness? Soon enough, I thought. Soon enough. I closed my eyes again to stop the thoughts. It only came out as a faint whisper now. A testament to my house, my village, my home. Pela, Patria. And I really, really like this fanfiction, and I think he did an amazing job. And the 1st place winner went to T. Mitchell, who basically had the longest story, but that didn't win him that. What really won it was that he explained the entire history of Brazil, and that was, in itself, freaking amazing. So I'm just going to read a longer excerpt than the last one to basically show you guys what this is all about. In 1939, Indonesian troops crossed the English border, starting a proxy war of the Second World War, pegging the Stalinistic Red Indonesians against their fellow in the Comintern. This action was met with swift denunciation from Chairman Pedro, but ultimately led to the capture of London in 1942, of York in 1943, and Nottingham in 1952, which brought about the complete end of English independence. But these are only minor international incidents to the Brazilians. During this period, Brazil was working wholeheartedly on organizing an international games event in Rio de Janeiro. And the 1940 Olympic Games in Rio brought millions of tourists from all across the world to Brazilian cities. This sparked the final and most intense phase of Brazil's Cultural Revolution. The very same year, Chairman Pedro reorganized the government of the Democratic Republic of Brazil into a dictatorship of the proletariat, in which he assumed full control of the nation's faculties on behalf, supposedly, of the people. And so on from then on, not only was he the chairman of Brazil and the general secretary of the Communist Party, but also the premier. All these positions held concurrently gave considerable power to the already powerful man, and hence the Brazilian Cultural Revolution gained immense momentum at his guidance. This is why he won 1st place, because he has created not only what I just read, but literally the entire history of Brazil. And I think that is absolutely fantastic, and he definitely earned 1st place. Okay, now we do have a couple honorable mentions, and one of those is brought to you by a special guest, so I'm just gonna let that roll.
And now a dramatic reading of a poem by Enrico before he was executed in his capital. Roses are black, violets are black. Everything is black. I'm blind. Thank you. My name is Mr. Dude Puppet, and I brought this poem to your very hearts. I hope it touched your soul like it touched mine. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. That was interesting. And the second honorable mention is Alec. And Alec did his fanfiction on the Polish border guard. So I'm just going to quickly read some of his fanfiction. We are the Polish border guard. This is our story. Remember us. Remember our fathers. Remember our sons, for we serve forever onward. If you want to read the rest, just pause the screen and you'll be able to see the whole entire thing right there. Okay, so the next honorable mention is Joseph. And his was actually a poem. And I actually like his a lot too. It's a line of sticks and stones, a line of steel and bones that cuts across the land. A line that does not exist but divides the lowliest peasant to the highest king. I'll skip ahead here. The line that stands to the brink of time until one side falls to sleep. An eternal standoff between the powers that divides all we know today. Every time the line is questioned, suffering and death come about. It started during the time of the first men and will end at the time of the last. And this is talking about the line between Brazil and Poland, with a whole great wall where we were all positioned outside. It was actually a very, very long-standing defensive, and I really like this poem. And the last honorable mention goes to Tony, and I'm not going to read this one because it's kind of long, and I can't really find a good excerpt from it that really, tells you about the whole fanfiction, but if you want to read it, you can pause the screen right here. I am just going to say that I love the way he does this, and he compares the borders between Poland and Brazil as the red and green, obviously Poland being red, green being Brazil, and the people that are born on this line are called rosebush bastards. Now, if you think about that for a second, rosebush is actually really, really clever name for this, considering, rose bushes have green and red. So I really, really liked what he did there, and he was so clever with that statement, the rosebush bastards, born between the red and green. I love that. Anyways, that is it for this Brazilian fan fiction contest. I am very, very excited to say that I was really, really surprised with the amount of entries and just the amount of effort you guys put into this. I really was. I will be doing more of these fan fiction contests in the future on different series, and I do plan on doing a timeline video for Brazil that's going to have, like I said earlier, a lot of your fan fictions, built into one nice historical timeline. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for joining in. I really, really hope you enjoyed the winners, and definitely stay tuned for more.